Mark Billy Billingham spent 27 years in the military, 9 in the parachute regiment, 17 plus years with the SAS. He's currently working in the TV industry as an advisor on SAS Who Dares Wins, the basic requirements. Right, so first things first. You can't just rock up and try out for the SAS. You've got to be in the military already, serve at least 2 years, you need 3 years left to serve, and you've got to be under 32 years old. That's the cutoff. Reserves might have different rules, but we're talking about 22 SAS here, the regular unit. You get 2 attempts at selection, that's all you're getting. Mess it up twice and you're done. During selection, you're allowed 1 red, which means you can fail 1 task, but on the second red, you're out. The SAS runs selection twice a year, summer and winter. The pass rate is about 10%. Sometimes it drops to 3 or 4%. Some years in the late 60s, no one passed. That's how hard it is. And these aren't your average soldiers trying out. These are people from the Parachute Regiment, Royal Marines, guys who are already at a high level of fitness and ability. Right, if you've made it this far, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Because what I'm about to tell you next is where it gets really brutal. The Hills phase. The first phase is what they call the Hills. You're in the Brecon Beacons in Wales, given a rifle, a Bergen that weighs up to 25 kilograms, and sent on marches anywhere from 12 to 50 miles. In summer, it's blisteringly hot. In winter, it snows. You're navigating from checkpoint to checkpoint, always against the clock. There's no instructors shouting at you, no encouragement, no abuse. You're on your own. In the SAS, you've got to be self-motivated. No one's there to hold your hand. At the end of the first week comes the fan dance. You've got to climb Pen Y Fan, which is about 886 meters high, twice. You carry a Bergen and a rifle, and you've got 4 hours and 10 minutes to complete it. Part of the route is up Jacob's Ladder, then the old Roman road, then back up Pen Y Fan again. It's brutal. In 2013, 3 Army reservists died during a training march when temperatures hit around 29 degrees Celsius. They had carried a rifle and Bergen weighing at least 27 kilograms. They collapsed from heat stroke. The 4th week is test week. Every day you're doing continuous marches with increasing loads and distances. There's also the sketch map march, which is 35 kilometers where you're given a hand-drawn map rather than a printed one. That's particularly nasty because you've got to rely on your own interpretation of the terrain. The big one everyone talks about is the long drag. It's a 40-mile trek, that's 64 kilometers, carrying a 25-kilogram Bergen, not including food, water, and rifle, that you've got to complete in under 20 hours. You're navigating from checkpoint to checkpoint, completely on your own, against the clock. No one's there to encourage you, no one's there to tell you you're doing well or badly. It's just you, the mountains, and the clock. If you've made it this far, you've probably gone from 220 candidates down to about 24. Andy McNabb said in his group they went from 220 down to 24 just after the Hills phase, continuation training. So you've survived the Hills. Congratulations, but you're not in yet. Now comes 14 weeks of continuation training. You're learning advanced weapon handling, not just British weapons but foreign weapons, adversaries' weapons. You're learning patrolling, ambush drills, break contact, close target reconnaissance, demolitions, vehicle handling, close quarters combat, battlefield casualty drills, dynamic shooting. If you can't learn and apply these skills, you're returned to the unit. That's it. You're out. Jungle phase. Then you're shipped off to Brunei or Belize for 6 weeks of jungle training. You're in 4-man patrols, living behind enemy lines for weeks on rations. The idea is if you can fight in the jungle, you can fight anywhere. It's hot, humid, dirty, wet, and there's toxic and poisonous animals everywhere. Candidates are known to lose up to 6 kilograms of body weight during this phase. It's not just physical, there's a massive mental component being tested. Can you keep yourself and your kit in good condition on long-range patrol in difficult conditions? Can you work under relentless pressure in horrendous environments for weeks on end without a lifeline back to home base? Chris Ryan, former SAS corporal, credits this training for saving his life. His patrol, Bravo 20, was compromised north of Baghdad, and he had to trek 300 kilometers through the Iraqi desert to cross into Syria. Longest escape and evasion in SAS history. Combat survival and interrogation. The final phase is combat survival. There's 2 parts to this, escape and evasion, and then tactical questioning, which is just a nice way of saying interrogation. You spend about 2 weeks living on your own with little to no food, shelter, or provisions. You're being hunted by a hunter force, usually men from the Special Forces Support Group. You're simulating being behind enemy lines, and you've got to evade capture while finding your way to an extraction point. Some candidates don't get caught, but the directing staff manage things so that eventually the hunter force finds you. You're getting captured, it's part of the test. Then comes 36 hours of tactical questioning. Now, the SAS has a dispensation where they can subject candidates to 36 hours of interrogation. You're put in stress positions, standing for hours at a time. They're blasting white noise at you, this abrasive, ever-changing sound that's impossible to ignore. It's like static on a badly tuned radio, and it messes with your head. You lose track of time. You don't know if it's been 2 hours or 10 hours. You're put in what they call isolation pens, basically small spaces where you're left on your own, blindfolded, just sitting there. The hours drag on. You're exhausted, you're hungry, you're cold, and you start worrying about forgetting your serial number or mixing it up with some old number you had. That brings you right to the attention of the interrogators, which is not something you want. When your turn comes for questioning, you can only answer with the big four: name, rank, serial number, and date of birth. Everything else, you say, "I'm sorry, but I cannot answer that question." That's it. If you give any other information, you fail. You're out. They try to get you to nod your head or shake your head or sign some apparently insignificant document. These can be used later in totally different contexts for propaganda purposes. You've got to stay switched on. The interrogators change around. One's Mr. Nice, offers you chocolate, a cup of tea, just sign this little paper. One's Mr. Nasty, threatening your life, getting physical with you. Then there's another who seems like a dithering idiot, very repetitive, and you'll think in your mind he's useless. But that's the game. They're all testing you in different ways. The ones you've really got to watch for are the female interrogators. On Billy's selection, there were 6 of the biggest lads, all hard as nails, Falklands veterans, seen action in other places. They all cracked under a female interrogator, blew 4.5 months of hard work. The interrogators are looking for men who can withstand treatment long enough so that any operational information they might have loses its value. Because in reality, if you're captured behind enemy lines, nobody's coming to rescue you. You're deniable. After about 36 hours, if you've made it, someone with a white armband comes in and says, "Your war is over." A lot of candidates refuse to believe it at first, keep going with the mantra. Can't blame them, earning the Beige Beret. If you've made it through all that, you get the Beige Beret with the winged dagger insignia. The motto, "Who dares wins." By this point, you've gone from around 200 candidates down to maybe 25 or so. But here's the thing, you're not out of the woods, you're on probation. You're being watched closely by the directing staff as you enter more training. You've got to complete counter-terrorism training, learn communications, demolitions, languages, sniper skills, hey-ho, halo parachuting. Then you're assigned to one of the squadrons, A, B, D, or G. Within those are different troops like air, mobility, boat, and mountain troop. Enlisted personnel revert to the rank of trooper. Officers get demoted to their previous rank, and they serve an initial 3-year tour. Final thoughts. The SAS selection is designed to break you. It tests everything: your physical endurance, your mental resilience, your ability to think when you're exhausted, hungry, cold, and under pressure. It's not about being the biggest or the strongest. Massive lads fail. Smaller guys, wiry and mentally unbreakable, pass. Selection is about proving you can operate in the worst conditions imaginable, behind enemy lines, for weeks on end, without anyone coming to save you. That's what it takes to be a SAS soldier. Now, if you really enjoyed watching this video, then like it and consider subscribing to the channel, as we'll be bringing up more anticipated and exciting content soon. See you later.